Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Stephanie Domerat. Happening right now, OHSU leaders are debating on whether or not to end experiments on monkeys at the hospital's primate research lab. The center has been a controversial one for years, with animal activists arguing the facility should close. Thomas Schultz has more.
The OHSU Board of Directors says it's looking into transitioning a research center into a primate sanctuary. In a letter, OHSU leaders said earlier this month the hospital has long been committed to science advancing human health, adding the primate center has contributed to the mission for decades. Though now OHSU says science has evolved, and state and federal leaders, along with leaders at the National Institute for Health, are urging human-based research. OHSU says any decision would take into account protecting employees' careers and animal care. In a public meeting last month, supporters of the facility highlighted medical advancement it achieved. Those against it described the center as inhumane, outdated, and financially unsustainable.
If it's not state general fund money, then it must be coming from patients through higher charges or students through higher tuition.
Shutting down the center would not just deprive the United States of healthcare advances. It would not just deprive Oregon of a highly skilled workforce. It would also take millions out of the local economy, and it would cost our taxpayers millions to do it.
Animal rights groups like PETA have long opposed the center. In a statement, PETA's senior science advisor on primate issues, Dr. Lisa Jones-Engel, said in part, phasing out the Primate Research Center and making it a sanctuary would put the university at the forefront of cutting-edge research by casting off what has failed and embracing state-of-the-art science. So clearly a lot to be discussed here at OHSU and possibly a lot of changes coming for the university. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
And we will be following that update throughout the day and have that for you today at 4 as well. Well, the Estacada School District has seen a huge spike in graduation rates over the past 10 years, from 38 to 92% of kids graduating in 4 years. The superintendent says there are a couple of reasons for these increases, and it wasn't because of money. He says 7 years ago, the district worked with each student to establish personal goals, and it found by giving each student something to strive for, it made a big difference. Estacada also built in 2 hours every week for teachers to meet with each other and create assessments for their students.
Teachers were able to identify what students needed who weren't learning on time, and identify what students need who were learning it, and how are we going to push that learning forward.
Carpenter believes other districts could replicate the success Estacada has seen. They also realized kids involved in extracurriculars performed better in school, so they make an effort to get every middle and high schooler involved in something, whether it's a sport, performing art, or career technical program, to keep them engaged and involved in school. A Gresham 7-year-old and her family are back in Oregon after spending 3 weeks locked up in an ICE detention center in Texas. KGW was there as the family arrived home early Saturday morning. They were escorted by Oregon Congresswoman Maxine Dexter. Dexter had flown to Texas to check in on the family, but was denied access to the detention center. A statement from DHS offered an explanation for the detention, saying, quote, "These parents illegally entered the U.S. with their daughter in 2024 through the disastrous CBP-1 app and were released into the country by the Biden administration."
Waited in Mexico for their appointment. They came through the San Isidro portal legally. And it's not their fault that they were given an appointment until 2028.
We have to come together with love and not dehumanize and marginalize the people who are doing this. We have to fight hate with love.
We've contacted ICE for an updated response multiple times, but have yet to hear back. Salem police are investigating an incident that happened outside a downtown bar that involved a gun. It happened around 1:30 Saturday morning at Mikey's Bar and Grill on Liberty Street. Police say a 20-year-old man dropped a handgun and tried to run as officers arrived. According to investigators, the man had threatened security and customers and was found with suspected cocaine. Police also say a car connected to the incident took off and later crashed nearby. The driver and passenger were treated for minor injuries. Officers later recovered a second gun. The 2 men were arrested and booked into jail on multiple charges, including unlawful use of a weapon, DUI, and attempting to elude police. A man is behind bars for an armed robbery that put a woman in the hospital. Police say Jorge Reyes Suarez hit a woman in the head with a handgun and stole her fanny pack while she was returning her cart in the parking lot of Southeast Salem Costco on Friday. Reyes Suarez drove away and 2 Salem schools were put on lockdown after police found his car nearby. Police found him and the gun, which ended up being a realistic-looking pellet gun. All right, switching gears now to your weather. Let's check in with Rod Hill. Hi, Rod.
Hi, we have a typical day.
It feels really different than we've seen the last week, though.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we haven't been typical.
Yeah, it's true, right?
So however you feel today, that's typical. Scattered shower pattern. Please note with me, everything's coming in from the west. And not a lot of total rain. There are some exceptions. We've seen some heavier showers mixed in, but most of these are more gentle showers that are quickly coming and moving out. Here's some rain from our live camera at Snoqualmie Casino Resort in Lincoln City, 53 degrees. Winds are generally light. That's a close-up look at our state capitol, 52 degrees. There are some sun breaks, but our sky cameras are showing more clouds than sun at this hour. And there's downtown, pretty much overcast from this view, 51 degrees. I don't think temperatures are going to budge much. We're going to be getting rain showers coming across. So about the time we start to warm up, the temperature will be rain cooled. This shows us in the low 50s all the way through 4 o'clock and then mid 40s down to 46 at 7. The shower chance, by the way, will be ending tonight. And then we go on a dry run. Now, one more thing, we do have snow up in the mountains, and we'll talk about how much has fallen, what that snow level, where it is. That's coming up in my complete forecast.